Hello, this is Mr. Gentry, and I'm going to give you your introduction to organic chemistry. This information is to support Chapter 22 and 23. Today we're going to be naming alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. Our state standards addressed are here, and our goals today is to learn how to name alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. Organic chemistry is the study of carbon-based chemistry. It actually began in 1828 with Friedrich Wöhler was the first person to synthesize organic compound through inorganic compounds. He actually produced urea, which is found in the urine of most mammals. We're going to learn how to name organic compounds, but since there are millions of organic compounds, you should not try to memorize them all, but know the general rules. We're going to use the International Union on Purity and Chemistry rules, or the IUPAC rules, for naming organic compounds. We're going to start off with alkanes. What we want to do with alkanes, there's a few things. You want to learn the prefixes for these, so methane, ethane, propane, butane, pentane, hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, and decane for the first 10. Real quick mnemonic that you guys can use is mother eats peanut butter. So that's for the first 4. So M for methane, 2 carbons ethane or eats, 3 carbons propane or peanut, and then butane, 4 carbons is butter. So 1, 2, 3, 4. The rest are pretty common: hexane, heptane, octane, nonane, and decane. What we're looking at is the number of carbons in the continuous chain. We're going to leave out cyclic alkanes for this. So we're just naming that, or looking at the number of carbons. So this one has 1 carbon. That would make it methane. Have the next one 2 carbons. Ethane, propane, butane. So we're just looking at the number of carbons. These are called saturated hydrocarbons because all the bonds on each of the carbons, either between carbon or contains hydrogen. We're going to move on to alkenes. The same rules apply and the same prefixes apply as they do for alkanes. The only difference is we're looking at the presence of double bonds. So we have less hydrogens because we have more bonds connected to the carbon. The other thing you want to look at is the suffix. We use ene, so ethene, propene, butene, pentene, hexene, so on, for the suffix for each of these, but the same prefix. As we name these, we're looking at the parent hydrocarbon, so we need the longest continuous chain that contains the double bond. So we're looking at counting carbons. So if we start here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we'd want the longest continuous chain. We also want the lowest number to be associated with the double bond. So we're going to start from this end, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that parent would be pentene. And since the double bond is associated with the first and second, we'd say 1 pentene. So we just name the carbon where the double bond takes place. All right, so it would not be hexene because that would be a lower number. We want the longest continuous chain. So we're just counting the number of carbons that make up the longest chain. So the second example here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That would be a hex. And then the double bond, we want the lowest number. So if we go this way, it'd be number 2. So we'd call it 2-hexene. Oops. Let's go to the next slide. We're going to skip this slide. These slides will be provided for you on Learn, so you guys can follow along or take notes on this. But all these rules will be given to you. We'll go to those later. All right, we're going to go on to alkynes. The rules for naming alkynes. Again, we have the same prefixes. The only difference is that we're using YNE instead of ENE or ANE. So any alkyne will be, for the example, this one have 1, 2, 3 carbons. This would be a butene, 1 butene. So again, we're counting carbons. and we're looking at where the lowest number is associated with the, oops, that must be in white. Let's look here. Pen color, black. Oh, no, it's in white. There we go. So one, alright, my pen quit working. But anyway, this one's 1-butene. This one would be 2-butene. And then this would be 2-pentene. And we have a methyl group, so we'll get into that later. Alright, for your practice here, if you'd like, what you want to do is name the parent chain with the most amount of carbon. So this one has a couple of branches, so you'll have to count along the carbon to figure out which one has the lowest number of carbons. And you want to do that for, or sorry, the highest number of carbons. And both of these, and you're also looking for the presence of double or triple bonds. You'll notice that neither of these compounds has a double or triple bond, so you'll want to realize that these are alkanes. If you want, go ahead and pause it and see if you can name the parent chain on these. If not, you can stay with me and we'll see here. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. If we go this way, it'd be 5, 6. If we go this way, it'd be 5. So we want to keep going. 5, 6. This way, it's 7, 7, 7, 8. So this is an octane because it has 8 carbons. So oc to represent 8 carbons, and ANE since it's a fully saturated hydrocarbon. So there's no double or triple bonds. Do the same thing for number 2. We're looking at the longest continuous carbon chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. It looks like 7 would be the longest continuous chain. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So this one would be a heptane. So this would be for 7. We have the prefix heptane. So we're going to go on to the next one. Alright, we're looking for the presence of double or triple bonds. So which one would be an alkane, which one would be an alkyne. So remember which one is which. And then look for the longest number of continuous carbons. And then we're trying to associate the lowest number with the double and triple bond. You can go ahead and pause it and try this practice if you have the slides handy or on a piece of paper. And then for those of you who are staying with me, or if you're done pausing it, we're going to go ahead and go through it. So we have a double bond here, so this is an ene. This is a triple bond, so that's an ine. So we're going to go through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like 6 here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 carbons. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbons. Alright, so start with this one. This one would be a 1 pentene. As you can see, we have a triple bond at that first carbon, and it's associated with the longest continuous carbon chain of 5 carbons. So we call that 1 pentene because we want the lowest number associated with the triple or double bond. Go to the double bond here. We actually have a hexane because we have or hexene because we have a double bond here, and we want the lowest carbon number of carbon associated with that double bond. So this is a 2 hexene. Alright, I hope that practice was helpful. Look at the next video on an introduction to organic chemistry, naming organic compounds of functional groups. You can go back and look at this video again, or ask questions of any of the chemistry teachers, or read the chapters 22 associated with this. Alright, and have fun with the E-Day assignment number 3.